So here we are, just a couple hours post-race in Augusta. A good result, I think.
It wasn't too bad.
Happy with it?
I'm happy with it, yeah. And it was a lot of fun. It was a really fun race. Really cool course in the Savannah River with the current and just straight down the river and then through kind of the Augusta countryside. Nice rolling countryside, really nice course. And then the run was right through downtown and lots of crowd support. So it was a lot of fun from that standpoint, and it's very hot out right now. It's 90 something degrees and fairly humid. And so the race was probably during the run, 85 to 87 with good humidity. So it definitely was a good heat training day. And then from a race standpoint, just the swim is pretty business as usual. I'm the first loser who didn't make the front pack. Me and Mark Dolson swam side by side, and we just sighted the front pack the whole time. So slowly but surely, I'm not disappointed. I'm not happy. I'm just, still got work to do. It's going to take, you can't do, a lot of these guys been swimming, properly for 8 years. You can't do in 5 weeks think you're going to suddenly be swimming where you want to be against guys who've been swimming for probably more, a decade, with groups and, just putting forth good quality training. So, it was good. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't hard or anything. It was just a good controlled swim. And got out onto the bike, heard that my deficit was 2 minutes, assumed it was probably the contenders, Nils Framhold and Bradley Weiss. So basically pushed a quantity of power that I figured I could pull some time back decently well and not completely burn through all the glycogen. And so that power today was 362, which I pushed until I caught the front of the race, which was 56 minutes in to the bike. And then when I caught them, unfortunately, we'd already been through all the sort of challenging sections, so it's just, second half of the course, not really too many places to get away. I mean, I didn't take any digs, but I knew kind of my effort would be futile with such good bikers, and so I figured these are the positions that are going to sort of be as they are until the run. And so rest of the bike, nothing super interesting. It was kind of fun to race the bike. Usually I do it as kind of like an individual time trial, and this time I actually was racing. And so came off the bike as a group, myself, Nils Framhold, and Bradley Weiss. And that's who, coming into the race, I figured we would be racing each other. And ran together, the three of us, for the first probably 2 or 3 miles. And then Nils started to drop back. And then it was just me and Brad. And being completely honest, I haven't really done, this has been kind of the accelerated Ironman program, not the peak 70.3 training program. And so I'm pretty short on speed work. So I did 3x5K last week, and I went 17:30 for all three, which if you strung all those together for a 70.3 run, that would get you a 1:13:30 in that ballpark. So I figured that's what I could probably run. So anyways, pretty early on, I knew Brad had pretty good leg speed, and so I was kind of in defensive mode most of the run, and I let him set the pace, and so I was fully content if we slowed the pace down, but he kept the pace hot. So I suffered quite a bit, and to be honest with you, I had no idea who was going to win. We were still together coming around the corner, coming up to the 9-mile marker, and he doesn't show any pain whatsoever, none. Breathing sounded good, no moans, no groans. I'm a groaner, so like I probably sound like I'm 3/4 dead like 2 miles in. But I'm a vocal guy, as anyone who's ever visited my training room will know. And so anyways, I was like, I have no idea who's going to win this thing. But then we got to like literally just past the 9-mile marker, and Brad pulled off a little to the right, and I assumed he was like, well, it's your turn to take the lead. So I took the lead, but then I kind of felt the gap open, maybe 3-4 feet, and I hadn't accelerated or anything. So I said, oh, this is a long way from home right now, but let's find out, let's see what happens. And so I accelerated a little bit, and I felt the gap opening up a little bit. And then I made a pact with myself. I was going to keep the pace hot until there was approximately half a mile down was approximately the, I don't know, 10.5 mile. There's an aid station there, and there's a turnaround. So I figured I could get a glimpse without showing weakness and turning my head. And so I kept the pace hot till then. And then I made the turn, and I still didn't turn my head. I just kind of saw in my peripherals as I came around the corner. I probably put about maybe 40 meters in, and so I knew that probably wasn't enough surge to get 40 meters off the top. It probably had him slowing down a little bit too. So then I knew that, okay, let's seal the deal. And so I made the pact with myself that we'll keep this tempo up until 12 miles. And so I did that, and then at 12 miles I did turn back to have a look, and I had opened up a good gap. So but it was a great battle, really memorable battle, fun battle in the heat, you know, really when you're running at that kind of pace, especially after biking, very difficult to drink and to take on calories. So, you know, definitely not a great Kona nutrition preparation run. But definitely a great speed session. You know what I mean? I wanted to do 4x 5K leading into Kona, and so this is actually 4x 5K with no recovery in between after swimming and biking, better than I had intended to do 4x 5K with recovery. So I'm happy with that, and that just shows the power of running with people, with being part of the thing. You know, for me to have done that in practice would have required a monumental effort, and doing it, you know, with another person, it's much more enjoyable. So it was a great race. I'm really happy with the decision to do this. I think I couldn't have raced it any better. I couldn't have, given the conditions, I don't think I could have really felt any better. And so now we've got a nice training deposit, kind of the last big training deposit. And we also have obviously begun the heat prep. I was like, I don't recall being so ridiculously sweaty after a race. Obviously it was the body was cooling itself. So it's all good. And so I'm excited to take a couple days recovery now. Tomorrow I'll travel to Kona. And then Tuesday will take as just a activation day. And then Wednesday we'll do some lifting. Thursday we'll lift. Friday we'll lift. Saturday we'll lift. And then that'll be it. And so that's kind of how I envisioned it, how I planned the ideal preparation for myself would be this year. And so I definitely coming in pretty fresh, because I haven't really overtrained myself to death like I have in previous years, which I think will be an asset. Not in the best shape, but then again, you know what I mean? It's not all about fitness. There's a lot more depth to an Ironman in extreme conditions than just pure fitness. So I'm excited. I really am. I would say this is probably one of the most excited I've been to go to a race, particularly to Kona. So let's get there.
Does this race give you a little extra confidence at all, or do you feel the same?
Absolutely. I mean, I have memories of performances I've done in the past that certainly have been better. 70.3 performances all around. This was a good race, though. And racing is, Kona's a race, you know what I mean? You have to race Kona. It's not an individual time trial. So this was a great racing experience, which is really what I came here for, was the racing experience. it's not, I have truly done, no 70.3 specific preparation. So I just couldn't. Just didn't have the time. I've just constantly been, usually I start the year prepping for 70.3s, and I spend until approximately the end of June prepping for 70.3s. Then I try and convert that over to the longer endurance. This year I just have done the longer endurance. So I just didn't have the time, and it was like, how do I get to Kona? I want to go to Kona. I don't want to have a year where I miss Kona. And it was like, I probably could get in good 70.3 shape, but that's not going to get me to Kona. I knew I was going up against Cody Beals, who was a great Ironman racer in Mont Tremblant, and so I knew that I'd have to be in very good Ironman shape. So yeah, it gives me confidence going up against Brad, who's a great 70.3 racer, improving rapidly. Definitely someone who's going to continue to be a guy who's going to improve and be one to beat. But you know what I mean? The Ironman is kind of at this time, I think, is where I'm more suited at the moment. So I do intend to do some 70.3s at the end of the season, and I'd like to continue to hone that. The speed, get that speed back a little bit more, because 112 definitely felt on the more laborious side, more than usual, but that's to be expected. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It couldn't really have gotten any better experience from this race, and I'm excited to go and toe the line in Kona.